So what's the saying that the apple does not fall far from the tree? Well, in the computer and mobile device manufacturing giant's case, Cupertino being the tree, the apples seem to spread pretty dang far. This year Apple released the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, which set record sales here in the US. Despite all this though, people still want to know, is the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus worth it? And should I upgrade from an iPhone 5S? Well, I've been using this phone for over a month and I purposely waited until the latest firmware update, which is iOS 8.1, before I gave my full review. Since the update made the OS a little bit more stable, I believe it's now time for my complete thoughts on Apple's new and improved iPhone. If you're looking for more of an overview, make sure you check out my iPhone 6 unboxing and first impressions video, as this will solely be a review. I've always said if Apple would release an iPhone with a bigger screen, they would have a major hit on their hands. Well, Apple not only released a 4.7-inch iPhone, but also a massive 5.5-inch iPhone, and it was a major hit, but also a disaster to get, at least the iPhone 6 Plus was. Both are designed exactly the same outside the major size difference. They went with a more rounded design this time around, and that includes getting rid of the beautiful chamfered edges. I honestly don't like this. I'm a big fan of the machine-cut, beautiful chamfered edges found on the iPhone 5 and 5S, as well as the actual design. Apple has also rounded the edges on the glass, which this I like. It allows for a really smooth swipe going from edge to edge. The new iPhone 6 and 6 Plus just don't feel like they uphold the incredible craftsmanship that Apple has always been known for. From the bold and not so pretty antenna lines on the back to the protruding camera, which is not featured on the iPad Air 2. I'm a bit more understanding to the protruding camera on the 6 Plus, as it does have OIS. However, I'm not too fond of the one found on the 6. Still, none of these things are a deal breaker, as the case can simply cover up the antenna lines and also even out the protruding camera, allowing it to sit flat on the surface. Oh, and how could I forget? The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus are the thinnest iPhones yet. Yeah, go figure. But seriously, they are freaking thin. It's almost scary because they really feel fragile. I mean, don't get me wrong, they feel solid still, and definitely not cheap. However, when holding your iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, you may definitely have that feeling somewhere in the back of your mind that if you drop this thing, it's going to break. No doubt about it. The iPhone 6 is the perfect size. Literally, it's the perfect size for one-handed use. It's not too big, but yet not too small. It reminds me a lot of the 2013 Moto X. Thanks to the super thin design and extremely light weight of the iPhone 6, it just sits perfectly in your hand. The iPhone 6 Plus, on the other hand, is not quite as comfortable to hold. Some people will say it's the perfect size device, others will say it's humongous. I have gotten used to using the Note 4 lately and actually been enjoying the 6 Plus. I definitely prefer the 6 in terms of ease of use with one hand, but there are things that make me prefer the 6 Plus. Both phones feature a software enhancement called reachability, which allows you to reach the top of the display without having to shimmy your hand too much. It's a nice feature, I believe, and actually I have used this several times on several different occasions. This leads me into the displays. The iPhone 6 Plus features a 1080p display with a PPI of 401, and this is the first time Apple has used a common screen ratio of 1920 by 1080 on a phone. I mean, truthfully, neither display disappoints. The iPhone 6 features a gorgeous 720p display with a PPI of 326 and a not so common 1334 by 750 screen ratio. But the higher resolution on the 6 Plus is noticeable, even if it's slightly. The added size makes the 6 Plus much better for viewing videos, playing games, even editing photos on the fly. Viewing angles are superb on both. Actually, viewing angles are freaking insane. I have never in my life seen viewing angles as good as these. Viewing under direct sunlight is great, I've had no issues, and this includes indoor areas that are heavily lit as well. So needless to say, the displays on these phones are ridiculous and pretty much the best display I have seen on any smartphone, period. The camera is again amazing. Both feature identical software and options, except for the 6 Plus gains OIS, making it better for video and low light photos by reducing blur from hand shakiness. Both also feature focus pixels, which makes for a really fast autofocusing experience, similar to, if not the same, as the Canon 70D. I did a complete camera test including stills and video quality already, and I pretty much covered every part and piece of not only the rear camera but the front facing camera as well. I'll leave a link in the description to that video, as I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. Call quality is excellent, which is not unusual. I've never had an issue with call quality on my previous iPhones. Reception has been excellent. I don't see an improvement over the 5S, but it will vary by location. The iPhone 6 and 6 Plus do, however, support more LTE bands than ever before, meaning that more people in different markets should be able to get full use of their iPhone 6 and 6 Plus now. The speaker on the bottom has been improved slightly, and it makes for a better and louder multimedia experience, which is always warranted. It may be just me, but I also feel the headphone jack has improved, as audio sounds better outputted through headphones now as well. Despite what people may tell you or what you may hear about battery life, the iPhone 6 is excellent and by far the best battery life on a smartphone of that size and power. I'm getting around 8 to 10 hours of on-screen time and it easily lasts me an entire day and some. The 6 Plus is even better with a much larger battery, getting between 14 to 17 hours of on-screen time and several days upon several days of standby time. The new iPhones are available in silver, gold, and space gray with 16, 64, and 128 gigabytes of storage. Honestly, I don't really foresee many people needing 128 gigabytes of storage on your phone, maybe your tablet, but not really your phone. To me, it's a bit of an overkill. The 64 gigabyte version is definitely the sweet spot and the best deal. Next year, I'm foreseeing Apple getting rid of the 16 gigabyte model and replacing it with a 32. Alrighty, so I guess that leaves us with software. The infamous iOS software. Some people hate it, some people love it, we use it, and that's about it. But all the negative things that you can say about iOS, you cannot argue with the fact that it works. Usually. iOS 8 was a disaster, to put it lightly. There were a lot, and I mean a lot of bugs that just really impaired the functionality of the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, so Apple released iOS 8.0.1, and that pretty much bricked your phone by taking away your cellular service. It did not affect everyone, however, just too many. So Apple released iOS 8.0.2 and it fixed the broken cellular service issues. Now we're running iOS 8.1 with the coming forth of Apple Pay. And I can honestly say iOS 8.1 for the most part runs excellent. However, app optimization for the larger screens is pitiful. Hopefully developers will get on the ball with this and we can have some decent optimization soon. It looks worse on a 6 Plus, so if you're getting a 6 it won't be as bad from my experience as it's definitely passable. As far as Apple Pay goes, unfortunately I have not had the pleasure of using it. None of my card issuers support Apple Pay at the moment and there's not too many places locally that take Apple Pay. Besides, I'm not hugely excited about this feature even though it is kind of cool. The ability to change your keyboard is pretty sweet, even though there's not too many fully functional keyboards available right now that's worth the switch. The closest one would be SwiftKey, but that's my own personal opinion. Touch ID has also been approved and is much more responsive and accurate now. Okay, so to wrap it up, the iPhone is still without a doubt one of the best phones on the market to date. With an antenna that supports even more networks, it opens up the possibility of being able to experience this phone all across the world. It has one of the best LCD displays on a phone, the camera has been improved, which was already an excellent one on the 5S, and the reduced price of the 64GB model also makes getting a bit more storage more affordable now. Battery life has also been improved from the previous model, and of course you get all this without any carrier bloatware and guaranteed speedy updates. But all this comes at a cost, to a lockdown ecosystem with hardly any ability to modify things without jailbreaking. If you have an iPhone 5S, I would definitely recommend waiting for next year's model unless you're adamant about getting a new phone. In that case, I would tell you to go to the Apple Store and at least try the 6 Plus in your hand to see if that's the better phone for you. Android users may want to wait as Android L is right around the corner, bringing a slew of new features and improvements. Also, Android platform phones such as Samsung's Note 4, the OnePlus One, the Nexus 6, Motorola's 2014 Moto X, and Android Turbo are all excellent alternatives, meaning that Apple is no longer the king of the smartphone realm. Well guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, it really helps out the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new content. And while you're at it, why don't you check out some of my older videos, you might like what you see. Follow me on all my social media networks to have a more one-on-one based chat with me, and don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. Of course, as always guys, thank you for watching and all your support, and I'll see you in the next one.